Hello and welcome back to DIY Weddings. I'm Georgia McGilly from Georgia Beth Photography, and today I'm going to show you how you can make your very own wedding bouquet in only a few minutes at a fraction of the cost of a usual wedding bouquet from a florist. So just pause this video a second, hit subscribe so that you don't miss out on any more content, and we'll get to it. Okay, so what you're going to need is a nice clean space to lay out your flowers, and I'd recommend that you lay them out in their types so that you can see exactly what you've got to work with. It totally depends on what sort of style and look you're going for, but I quite like a big variety. I like a lot of greenery, so I've got some roses, I've got some different leaves, I've got some thistles, foxgloves, I've got some little kind of spray roses here, and then some sort of heather. So I literally just went to the supermarket and chose a selection from what they've got. Obviously with quarantine, lockdown going on at the minute, there's far less variety at the supermarket than usual. So this is what I came up with. But obviously if you're making your own wedding bouquet, I'd recommend that you kind of plan what kind of florals, or at least colours, that you want in your bouquet, and then maybe go to a flower market, or you could even order them from a florist, but just for them to be freshly cut and not arranged in a bouquet from a florist, and that still works out a lot more affordable than actually paying a florist to make the bouquet for you. So here I have obviously all of my flowers and greenery, and then I have a pair of scissors. Obviously if you have any sort of gardening shears or something, you could use those. That would obviously be better, but I've just got some sharp crafting scissors. I have bought some florist tape. This was about £2 on Amazon, so it doesn't really cost much, and obviously this would make a lot more than just one bouquet. So if you were looking to do your bridesmaids bouquets as well, or if you were looking to do some buttonholes, this would probably cover all of it. I've also got some satin ribbon that I just picked up from Amazon for £2. And then finally I have just got a few craft pins or dressmakers pins. Okay, so now you want to choose 2 or 3 flowers that are going to be the base or the center of your bouquet. So I'm going to go ahead and get this nice big fat white rose, because that's the only one I've got, and then I'm going to select probably a couple of pink ones, or maybe I'll just stick with one pink one. So I've got those at the center. Before you get ready to assemble your bouquet, what you want to do is just make sure that you've got rid of a lot of the leaves, especially with roses. Obviously you want to get rid of the thorns. I've actually missed a couple here. So just break those thorns off, because you never want to be poked in the finger halfway through walking down the aisle, do you? So just get rid of the leaves. I've got rid of some of them. Some of them I'd like to keep, but for the central ones I'm just going to remove all the extra leaves so that I've just got the head of the flower. So what you want to do is hold them nice and tight together. I've watched loads of tutorials on this, and florists do it in different ways, but for me I like to get my florist tape, stretch it a little bit, which makes it slightly more sticky. It's not a really sticky type of tape, because you obviously wouldn't ever want to put like sellotape type stickiness on a flower, but get your florist tape and then just tape your central 2 or 3 flowers together right at the top, which just gives it a bit more stability. Okay, so now that I've got those 2 central ones nice and tight together, I'm going to start assembling the bouquet around what my central 2. So I'm just going to place another rose on the other side, and then I'm going to just add probably a little bit of greenery. You can just play around with whatever you've got, so I'm going to pop that down and actually take a little piece off of this, because obviously you're going to, when you're at the end, you're going to tape all these together nice and tight at the top. So it doesn't matter if the stems are a bit shorter, because you will be cutting them. You don't want your stems this long. I am not a professional florist, and this is one of the main reasons I did this video, because I find that looking at some of the tutorials, they're absolutely amazing, but it is a professional florist making the bouquet. So then when you come to make your own bouquet, you might just think, oh, there's no way of me making this as good as somebody who's a professional at this. Obviously I'm not a professional florist, but I'm able to make a simple bouquet myself. So I just thought this would be really interesting, to coming from the point of view of somebody who doesn't do this every day for a living. As you keep assembling the bouquet, just pull the head of bouquet away from your face so that you can look at it head on, just to check that you're happy with it. And obviously the beautiful thing about this is you can use however much time you want to make it. So if you're not happy with the way it looks, place all your pieces down and just start again, and there's no problem in that. So once you're happy with the arrangement of your bouquet, you've made sure it's nice and balanced, you enjoy the different sort of textures and things, then all you need to do is take your florist tape. Like I said before, stretch it out a little bit before you start wrapping it around so that it's nice and sticky, and then you just start from the top and wrap around your flowers. Once your bouquet is wrapped, chop the stems off, and then we're going to start with the ribbon. You can wrap the base of your stem with anything, as you've probably seen in other brides and bridesmaids bouquets. Maybe you've been a bridesmaid yourself before. They can be wrapped with whatever. So you can use a ribbon that ties in with your colour theme, or you could choose some burlap or hessian, or you could just wrap twine all the way around. Totally up to you. So I've got this nice silk or satin white ribbon. Always start at the bottom and sort of wrap your way up. Leave just a little bit of space so that when you're done with your bouquet, you can pop it in some water and keep the flowers nice and fresh without them the water sort of seeping up the ribbon. So as you go, just turn it nice and tight, keep going, keep wrapping and keep holding it really nice and tight, because we obviously don't want it to unravel on your wedding day. And then once you are happy, just take your scissors, slice it a bit longer than you normally would think to, and then what you're going to do is just take the edge and fold it over so that you've got no rough edges. Tuck it in to the top, and then take your dressmaker's pins and pin them in. Use as many or as little pins as you like, just to make sure that you're happy with it and it feels secure. And there you have it, your very own wedding bouquet that you have created yourself. Obviously this is a small one, this is probably about the size of a bridesmaid's bouquet, but the assembly is the same. Even if you want a really huge bouquet, you just keep going with the steps that I've shown you how to do it. Just assemble it, make sure that you're keeping it nice and balanced, pull it away from your face to check the head of it to make sure that you're happy with the way it looks, and then finally wrapping it with florist tape and your ribbon. I absolutely love this bouquet, so I'm going to go ahead and take some shots of it so you can see what it looks like as a finished piece. There you go, I hope you like this tutorial. The flowers for this bouquet probably cost me about £10 in the supermarket, and then the florist tape and the ribbon were £2 each for the roll, but obviously the florist tape and the ribbon would probably have enough for your entire bridal party, unless you had like 20 bridesmaids or something. But it's super cheap, super affordable, very on budget, and I think the results are really, really lovely. And obviously if it was on your wedding day for your own wedding bouquet, you'd spend a bit more time just perfecting it and making it look that really extra something, and it makes it all that extra special because you made it yourself. So go ahead, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, pop in the comments below whether you're going to be making your own bouquet, and if so, what your favourite flowers are, and go ahead and share with me on Facebook and Instagram your own bouquets if you decide to make them yourself at home. I'm always cheering you guys on, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.